Excuse the mess, excuse the noise. I'm working with what I got. I don't know what that is. Exactly. I'm back again to do this again. Whatever this is. Exactly. I'm not quite sure. As I sketch stuff that you will not see. Probably. Probably. I need to get a new chair. I really need to get a new chair. The chair that I have is so squeaky and it's so old. Then again, this is the only chair that I have. And I have no money. No money. So going off of where I left off last. So a bit depressing, I would have to say, with job stuff and talking about that, even though I probably was the most enthusiastic about talking about that over anything else so far. What can I say? I just love spilling the tea. I love spilling the tea, sister. And hopefully someone can find a connection with that. I'm sure there's a possibility of it. But more on a enthusiastic, positive note, though, one big thing in my life that has been really cool has been going on dates and meeting new people. For me, I feel like that aspect of life, sure, there's a goal to it of I'm trying to, or well, I guess we're both trying to find someone that we are interested in order to do more things with them in the future, especially in the more sexual aspect ratio of that sentence. But I don't know. I don't think of myself as pansexual, though I do find myself more asexual than not in some occasions. But also I just feel like the people that I do end up meeting don't end up really, I don't know a good word for it, because they're still good people. So don't get that construed at all when I say like I get bored or I get disinterested. But it's definitely something that I have to take note of and be that good person that is like, hey, I don't think this is going to work out because I don't know. I guess it's just not really meant to be a thing. I don't know. I also really don't get the culture now at all. Like I'm very much never have been really connected with. I don't know. I feel like it's more like just the internet culture, and then there's the outside culture, and those two separate things that don't really, I guess, comply with one another, or they're not really connected in many ways. There's multiple cultures just embedded together. But yeah, I never really understood the culture of I don't know, like male loneliness, I guess, being a thing. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like you really just have to put yourself out there in ways. If you're alone, I really feel like a person isn't going to change that or make you feel any less lonely. I feel like that's more of a you problem with your inner self. At least from, I don't know, from what I've been doing and from how I've been feeling. That's just my 2 cents. I don't really know. I feel like we put too much energy into other people in this country because we can't fathom the idea of being alone because I guess it scares us. I don't know how else to really think about it. Whereas in my case, Whereas in my case, I don't know. I definitely feel lonely in occasions, and in other times, I just feel like I'm bored, and I think I get those confused. But I'm kind of getting off of that topic because I don't really feel like talking about that necessarily right now. Just trying to keep it more lighthearted and positive. There's a lot of really cool people out there. I really wish it didn't come down to a swipe or really just, performing to an extent of like that bird from the Discovery Channel, nonstop. And I mean, I'm sure there's like ways to meet people outside of all of that. I have not had much luck as I'm very much a homebody. And when I do go out, on occasion, I really tend not to communicate with people I don't know necessarily, or I guess that's also my problem of just thinking of that idea of I don't know them, so why should I try to get to know them? And that's something that is a struggling thought that I do my best to work upon and still work upon. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a work in progress, I guess. For public relations, to create public relations with strangers and build upon friendship in more of a natural way, I guess, compared to whatever this generation is. I will say though that the one good positive thing about the dating apps, especially for more of the female adjacent human beings, is the ability to really siphon out any possible dangers and goofy people that may turn out to be some sort of a threat, which sadly I feel has not wavered in any way and overall has probably stayed the same. And I don't mean to laugh to make light of that situation, because it's a shame that any person has to deal with that type of bullshit in their journey to find a human being that doesn't just look at them as an item and respects them as another human being that wants to experience them within their life and create wonderful memories. At least that's my viewpoint. I don't know. Maybe some people just want to, do the deed. Do the deed. Do the deed of Jesus, of Jesus. I don't know. Which I guess is another thing. I don't know. It's quite strange with like going to such a progressive college and like, especially as like an artist, and having so many LGBTQ friends and people that were so progressive in those types of terms in my life now and in the past, and really being open to change and progression has really opened the floodgates in my mind, I guess, to how weird things are, especially with our sexual nature kind of being preyed upon by the social structures, the social elite structures. Yeah, I don't know. Just like seeing it, it's like when you see a cigarette commercial and you know it's bad for you, and you see it and you're like, I can't believe this is airing to a public audience, because it has no real like merit. Even the ones that are trying to show you that like smoking is bad for you, like yeah, obviously, and like I think there's studies where those commercials don't do anything but actually make people want to smoke more. So I mean, it kind of, I don't know, it defeats the purpose. But noticing that cigarette ad, but it is in the sexual form within all of media, is just beyond strange to me. And while also noticing that I am not in any way, shape, or form immune to these things as well. That's the one issue of like having to make sure that I pay attention to what I'm consuming, because the evilness within any of it can still get to me just as much as anyone else. There is no one that is like really above those things, because it's human nature, but it's just being abused by these corporations. And the sexual tones of all movies, even going back to, I would say, I was watching Holes a few days ago, and the characters within that movie, there were so many hidden undertones, hidden jokes. I would say that was more lighthearted than other movies that I'm thinking of, even especially now in our time. And watching it, I don't know, like it was definitely more, I don't know the word I'm looking for. Could you shut that door? Thank you. That definitely helps. It was definitely more potent when I was starting to realize these things. And I don't know. It was, yeah. it just makes you start to question, like, what is the point of all of that? Like, why? What purpose does that serve in movies that are basically mostly for kids to be watching, or kids to be allowed to watch shows like that or movies? And it's just very odd to me. I don't know. I got way off topic with what I think I've been saying. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm looking to find somebody to go on a date with, to go dancing, because I'm just trying to go dance. Nobody wants to go dance anymore, and it pisses me off. At least everyone that I communicate to, you know. I don't know. I'm trying to find someone that knows the places, knows where to go to get just to dance the night away. That's all I'm looking for. Is that too much to ask these days? I don't know. I don't. I don't give a fuck about. I can't say that. I don't care about your Ghibli bits. I don't care about that stuff. I'm gonna be honest. Most occasions, it's cool, but it's nothing crazy to me. I don't know. I do not know. No, you bitch. Now I don't know where he was, and now I'm. What was I talking about again? I had to walk away for a second. Dating, right? Dating. There's a lot of interesting people that I've gotten to meet, though. Jokes aside, it's really nice just to finally like get to meet like a lot of nice people who, I don't know, share similar thoughts and feelings about stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm getting to where I want to be with like communication and being able to communicate with people properly. Um, and I guess that's just really a stage of growing up and finally becoming a capable adult, I guess, in the simplest way to explain my thoughts. Yeah, that's all I really got for it. Besides, yeah, I think that was good. Besides that, I don't know. Focusing more on myself and in these discussions that I bring towards myself. I'm. Why is that like that? Concerts, concerts and music. Mm-hmm. I think it should be more like that. Yeah, concerts and music. Yeah, I think it's been a long time coming. A big thing in my life, I guess, outside of like, I don't know. I guess like nature. Nature is like the top of the top echelon of my life, and I think music is more than just a small part of my life. I've begun to really get into bass, learning how to play acoustic guitar slowly but surely, really putting that time down, whether that be just a few moments or an hour a day to the best of my ability. I try to aim at least a few hours, or at least 3 times in a week. I try to do my best to stay musically inclined, physically. With going to shows and stuff, it's been really great, honestly. I guess I'm getting more comfortable going alone, but also it's always nice that I get a chance to go with friends to shows here and there. It's really nice. Sadly, it really sucks not having a lot of friends that want to, I guess, go outside as much or go to public events like concerts. But I mean, that's where I come in for myself. So yeah, I don't know. I understand. If this is something that I want, then I have to take part in it on my own. And I don't know. It's been really comfortable for the most part. I'm a big punk hardcore fan, as well as different genres of like alt and I guess metal in some cases. Rock, I guess I can put in there, but yeah, I don't know. I think I mostly enjoy just the alternative punk, hardcore metal shows more than anything else. I don't know. It just kind of feels natural compared to other things. And I don't know, it's like this energy that needs to be released. And shows have been a good way of those forms of energy to be released, and allowing this feeling of joy to really be pronounced. It's been great, honestly, and just, I don't know, really really being able to enjoy the music. I don't think there's anything that really beats. I don't think there's anything that really beats my performance, and really getting to see, like, I don't know, other people perform, and I don't know, just other people and how they act within the shows is quite funny to me. In a way, they're very, I don't know. I like watching people within the mosh pit and everything, just to see that sort of, I guess, angst and rage in other people. It's quite fun. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do certain events like that, though, as I get older. Mostly for the fact that I my knees are my knees begin to hurt now, having to stand for such a long period of time, which I can only assume is like concrete. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has to deal with that trouble as much, just as well as being in proximity to the mosh pit or being up front is quite a hassle, and staying there, and basically I enjoy the fight to stay within the main part of the show, but I don't know, it slowly becomes a nuisance, to where I have to start thinking whether or not, is this worth it, or should I start looking at seats, or finding different like locations that aren't so damaging to my back and my clothes. I don't know, I've had so many stories of just my clothes being torn off me almost, and it's just like from people who are either trying to stay afloat, or people that are trying to pull their way into the front, basically, and not having the physical strength that I wield, I guess. So they have a harder time, which I completely understand. Some people really want to be very close to the action. That's me in a nutshell, really. I really enjoy being in pain and being punched, I guess. It makes me feel alive in some occasions, and I don't know. I hope people can understand that, because when I do explain stuff like that, people look at me like I'm a freak, and it's like, nah, I quite enjoy it. There are ones, however, where it's just like quite annoying. For one person of my size, I'm going to always be counted on in some occasions to lift people, and I speak from experience, and it kind of, I don't know, it kind of like ruins my mood, at least more recently. For one story, I was simply enjoying watching the show, and I forgot about crowd surfing being a thing, and somebody sticking their high heel into my back simply to get my attention. And I don't know, I'm not pointing towards them doing it on complete purpose, because that's just the way of because that is just the way of the land. And that is the atmosphere and energy that flows through. It was painful, I won't lie, and they wanted me to pick them up because like they got dropped immediately because I wasn't paying attention to what they were doing. Boo hoo. But I did send them flying, so I feel like I kind of got my back. So I think I got my back, honestly. I don't know. It's just yeah, I don't know. You can't deal with it, you shouldn't be in it. That's the cruel reality that you just have to accept and deal with. And yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it really bothers me to an extreme amount necessarily. So I've learned to deal with stuff like that. Being punched, not punched, but being shoulder checked, or not shoulder checked. What is it? Like it was a smaller person who was in the front, and I guess they were afraid that I was like trying to get in the way of their enjoyment of being in front, and they kept punching behind them with their. It's not the shoulder. I don't know why I keep wanting to say shoulder. Yeah, but they kept swinging with that part of their arm, and they kept hitting me from like basically my neck and on my shoulder, and I was like, okay, I'm going to hurt you back, and luckily after just like completely just flurrying them with my what are these called? These aren't my knees. These are on my arm. Silly goose. Yeah, just throwing flourishes of fists behind them. Basically, they got the point and they stopped doing it. So I was all like, great, good job. Good. Thank you for not hitting me repeatedly in the back. As well as just being nice, I guess, to people and receiving that in a good way, and also being extremely confused because it's just all like, oh, I wasn't expecting this at all. Especially like, I think there was one friend group, lesbian couple. This happened multiple times where I think they wanted to get in the front, and I was in the front, and I'm a much bigger guy, so I can deal with being a little behind and not having to be like right in the front. I don't really care. You know, it's an experience. Everyone deserves to have at least a little bit of here and there, you know. It's not something that needs to be privatized in a way. So they're just, yeah, they were just trying to get to the front, and I was like looking at them as they were struggling, and I have less of, I don't know what to say. I don't like being touched, and I don't like touching people, but that part of my consciousness kind of goes slightly away to the point where I'm just like, I grab somebody and I look at them, like concerts at least, and I'm just like trying to communicate, like, if you want to get to the front, I can help you, but I'm gonna have to pull you because this is just the way of the land. And usually it works. That time, both times it worked. For I think they were just friends. I don't know. They were just very much smaller, and I was all like, I don't really care if you get in front of me. I'm basically just like a wall, and that was nice because they were like, oh, thank you, and then like afterwards they were like, thank you, I really appreciate you doing that for me, my friend. And I was like, yeah, of course. I don't know. It's just like everyone notices, and it's just like nobody does anything, and it's just like they're just tiny people. They more than likely they deserve to be in the front more than anyone else, simply for the fact that they can't see the show unless they're on the balcony or something. The second one was a lesbian couple, and I gotta admit, the one had braids and one had like curly black hair, similar to like me, and they were both very tiny. But the one girl with the braids was definitely putting up a fight to like get her so and so to the front. Like she was already there. Like that's like she was aggressive as shit. But the other girl, I guess, just didn't have the power to do it. I shouldn't say girl. I don't know what they were, but the braids was grabbing on her, and there was just this one dude. It always has to be a dude. This one guy that was basically not allowing entrance, and he was just some skinny kid with like a really beautiful chin as they come, with some nice hair, and I just decided to push him into the mosh pit without him realizing it, and then I grabbed the other person, and they looked at me with like, oh my god, oh my god, it's help, it's they're helping, and I looked at them and I was all like, move your feet, and they immediately, like, I don't know, it's just like this mind reading psychic ability within the mosh pit. And then Braids basically like looked at me with like approval, and I was all like, yeah, I'm there to help. The other person tried to like scream thank you to me, but I don't know. In the shows that I go to, I don't. Yeah, I think one funny story that I'd love to share. I went to go see Machine Girl, and if anyone has gone to go see Machine Girl before, I've seen them twice. Shit gets rowdy as all hell, and I love it, and I want to see them again eventually. I do think they were having a DJ mix somewhere, but I don't know if that already happened. But I should probably check. I would definitely go to that. Not if I'm not busy. So yeah, I think that too. But I went with my friend who I don't think ever experienced something to that degree, and we were talking about mosh pits, and they were highly against it. And then randomly, this one dude kind of turns around and he's just like, "You don't like mosh pits, but like you have to experience it. It's great. It's super cool. You get like all this energy out, and it's super nice." And I was just talking to them, and we were just talking about like bands and stuff. And my one friend was like, "Yeah, nah, I'm not doing that. Like that's for someone else's. That's for someone else, not me." And then like these other group of guys came over, and then they started talking, and like they got along, and they were talking about stuff. And then I basically was just like talking to my friend and just like getting ready for the show, because that's like, I don't know, that was like my main goal. But when they were talking, or when my friend was talking to a few of them, I was quite confused, because I thought he had like some knowledge of concerts, because we were in the middle, and the people that he was conversing with, and communicating his thoughts and feelings about not enjoying mosh pits, were usually the ones that started the mosh pits. So we were in the middle where it would normally start, and I was just looking at him. I'm like, I don't think he knows where we are in this place at all. And I don't know. That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. Once it got started, like it got started fast. Like it wasn't even the main band or even the second. It was just the opener that was actually like started something. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be quick. So like, I don't know, to save time, my goal was to get to the front. So I feel that I put in like major effort to just be like, okay, I'm pushing us forward, because if we get stuck in the mosh pit, we're not getting out. And that was a complete success on my part. But his face was so funny, and it will stick with me because I thought it was the best thing. He was just staring like wide eyed, and I I noticed him, and he looked at me for a second, and with just like this cry for help, and I think he had a lot of fun. So I'm just gonna say that, that's for sure. And I mean, I definitely had a lot of fun, especially when Machine Girl showed up. Their music is loud, but also there's just these very silent moments, or quiet moments, where you can genuinely dance to. And I think that's what I really like about them. And it's less about like how hard you can go, and it's more just like I don't know. I think this is why I want to go to like a techno club, because I think I would enjoy it. But just there's like these slow moments with this techno core music that they play, where it's mostly just for like dancing over, like headbanging, or like throwing your body around. Like I feel like it's just like this time for like motion of your full body, I guess, to put it in like simplest way I can say it, I guess. And yeah, I don't know, it's like really cool, especially when you're around other people who are doing similar motions to you, and it's kind of like a wave, and you're just bumping into each other, but it's not like super crazy rough. It's like you're just enjoying it, and it's like a pendulum, sort of. And that pendulum being hit, so like you go back and forth, due to other inertia. And yeah, that's been my experience with like concerts and stuff.